many of you feel that you are prepared for the next catastrophic earthquake? How many of you think you know what to do if there was a catastrophic earthquake? Some of you? The natural disasters most common here in California are earthquakes. So therefore it is important that you guys are prepared for the next big earthquake. I have lived in California my whole life and have experienced, as well as a lot of you, hopefully, or not hopefully, but have experienced them, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Learning more about the tips of being prepared for earthquakes should help you get a better understanding of why it is so important to be prepared for earthquakes. First, I will talk about the history and some of the most memorable earthquakes here in California. Second, I will give you all some tips in order for you to be prepared during, before, and after an earthquake. And lastly, I will stress the fact that it is important to be prepared. So first, let's talk about some of the history and the most memorable earthquakes here in California. One of the most memorable earthquakes here in California, according to an article on usgs.gov, is the 1906 San Francisco earthquake. This earthquake was so devastating that it caused 700 people to die, and it left $5 million in costs, in damage costs. So as you can see, these are some of the pictures from the 1906 San Francisco earthquake, and it was just a very bad earthquake, and it was one of the most memorable, according to that article. So another memorable earthquake was the 1989 earthquake, and also this earthquake measured a magnitude of 6.9, and which also caused a lot of damage and some deaths, not as much, but it caused more damage in property. And another memorable earthquake was the 1994 earthquake. As you can see, these people are looking for people who have been trapped under bridges, and a lot of things collapsed. So earthquakes are something serious. A lot of people don't like to dismiss them as something that just shakes and that's it. So it is important to be prepared. If you visit on your own time, if you go and visit the website data.scec.org, you can see the lists of earthquakes that occur here in California. A lot of earthquakes occur every day. So you can see on that website, it gives you the dates, and then it gives you the magnitude. There's earthquakes every day here in California, but they're so small that we don't feel them. I think when I went to visit it yesterday, the site, and there was I think about 5 yesterday, but they were all tiny, like 1 point magnitude or even less than 1 point magnitude. So it's just something to visit if you guys are interested in it. Okay, so now that I have informed you on some of the earthquake history and memorable earthquakes, I will now inform you on what you need to be prepared for these earthquakes. Many people don't like to prepare because you guys have a busy life. We all have a life that's busy, so we don't think about the consequences of us not being prepared for these earthquakes. But it is important. According to a website on ready.gov published on January 2014, earthquakes are one of the most frightening and most devastating phenomena of nature. Before an earthquake, you should all make a safety kit, which can include batteries, battery-operated radio, water, food, all that stuff. You should get flashlights and locate safe spots, and do not panic before an earthquake. Don't have it in your head that something's gonna happen. What locate safe spots mean is you need to know the safe spots in your house. So a lot of you know that under the table, a sturdy table is safe, and then the corners of your house. During an earthquake, we all know the drop and cover rule, right? We have learned that since elementary school. But if you do not have a sturdy table to go under, you can go to the corners of a safe corner of your house away from glass and away from furniture that can fall over on you. A lot of people like to think that under a door frame is safe, but it is only safe if you know the construction of your house and know that doorway is safe. Otherwise, it is not safe to go under the door frame. After an earthquake, you should help the injured if possible. What that means is if you yourself are injured or if you're trapped under something, you're not supposed to try and get out of it. You're supposed to wait and get something, or if it's possible, get like a pipe and mark, like bang something for people to come and help you, because you don't know the gravity of the situation, if you're gonna hurt yourself, if you are trapped under something. Also, if you live in a 2-story house, it's better to get on the 2nd story or the top story of your house or wherever you're at. There are also many precautions to take if you are traveling. According to Lisa Sin on Travel Magazine, published March of 2014, some of the tips is to stop your vehicle and get out safely, go to a safe spot. And if you are staying in hotels or staying in other places, it's good to ask the hotel what their precautions are, or what their preliminaries are, or if they have any drills that they do, just in case, just so you can be safe. And make sure the furniture is secured to the wall, and make sure your beds are not near windows, just in case, if it's glass. Also, something that a lot of people didn't know, and this is new to me too, is that you should buy iodine tablets. And what that does is that absorbs radiation. So if something happened and you are exposed to radiation, these iodine tablets will reduce that. There's also iodine tablets that are like, if you're deprived of water, those are also good to have. Now that I have informed you on some of the preparedness you should take, I will stress the fact that it is important to be prepared. Many people don't fully understand why it is to be prepared, and a story that I will tell you is the story of my sister. All of you remember the 2014 March earthquakes, right? The ones that happened like within a week. Do you guys remember those? Well, my sister's one of those people that panics. She tried to run out and cried. So we had to, hold her down and calm her down. So being prepared reduces anxiety, or reduces that scared feeling. And it also reduces the fact of injury, the chance of injury, and it reduces the chance of disaster. So let's wrap things up. Now that you have learned the history, I hope that you guys are aware of the importance to be prepared and are preparing. I talked about some of the most memorable earthquakes, the tips to be prepared, and why it is important. So when you go home, or when you really think about it, don't dismiss this and don't prolong it in order to prepare, because you don't know when the next big one's gonna happen. So be safe, be prepared, and don't panic. Thank you.